Good. Welcome, everyone. This is a public meeting regarding application to amend zoning bylaw 2000-57 as amended Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. And I call a meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Declaration of pecuniary interest. Do any members of council wish to declare a pecuniary interest on this application? Seeing none. Should you notice or feel you have a declaration to make, please let it be known and fill the paperwork with clerk as we progress. Statement of public notice. This is a public meeting held in compliance with Section 34 and 36 of the Ontario Planning Act. The application this evening is in respect of an amendment to zoning bylaw number 2000-57 as amended. The application that is subject to tonight's public hearing is municipally known as 417 Yonge Avenue, located in the settlement of Port McNicoll. All the people present tonight will be given an opportunity to ask questions for clarification and provide comments on the proposed application. For any person who did not receive notice of the public meeting tonight and require notice of the decision regarding the application tonight should leave their name and address with the township clerk. Tonight's meeting will allow council to hear from the township planning staff, the applicant or agent, and the public on the proposed application. Once the public meeting portion is closed, the township council will reconvene to its regular council session. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. However, no further opportunity for public comment will be provided on tonight's application. The application before us will be voted on at an upcoming council meeting after a staff recommendation report is prepared and presented to council. For those present, if you wish to receive a notice of passing of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment with respect to the application, you should leave your name, address, and email address with the Township Planning Department. This can be done by emailing the Planning Department at planning@tay.ca or by calling 705-534-7248 extension 220. Would the manager of planning please describe the proposed application? Mr. Weatherall.
Thank you, Chair Raymond. Application is for 417 Yonge Avenue, which is located in the community of Port McNicoll. The purpose of the public meeting is required under the Planning Act. A public meeting provides an opportunity for council and staff to receive written comments and to provide an opportunity to hear oral comments from the public. Notice of public meeting was issued on February 5th, 2026 to all landowners within 120 meters of the subject property, as well as installing a notice sign on the property, as you can see in the photo. The purpose and effect of the zoning bylaw amendment is to rezone the subject lands from the Village Residential 2 Exception 21 hold zone to the Village Residential 2 Exception 38 zone to permit 3 lots that have been granted provisional approval by the Committee of Adjustment, subject to zoning approval that the proposed lots have a minimum lot frontage of 16.4 meters and a minimum lot area of 497 square meters, and to permit single detached dwellings for properties that are not serviced by municipal services. Zoning bylaw 2000-57 as amended requires a minimum lot frontage of 18 meters, a minimum lot area of 557 square meters, and a single detached dwelling to be serviced by municipal services in the Village Residential 2 zone. Located on the slide is the key map showing the subject lands, as well as the aerial photography. As you can see, it is a heavily vegetated lot. Committee of Adjustment dealt with the severance application a month ago. The proposal was to create 3 new lots from the large parcel of land. As you can see, the applicant has provided a building envelope and septic envelope on each lot. Each lot indicates that each lot will have a frontage of 16.4 meters with approximately 497 square meters of area. Just some photos of the area. As you can see, just looking down Yonge Avenue towards Arpin Street, as well reversal towards the dead end. There is an existing dwelling on the opposite side of the road. Again, just another photo looking at the treed lot. As you can see, there's in the red sign is the severance sign that has not been removed. That's part of the planning process. And then the bottom photo is looking at the dead end. Planning staff will continue to receive and consider all comments from the public, agencies, and departmental staff. Planning staff will prepare a recommendation report and present it to council at the next committee of the whole meeting scheduled for March 11th. If you're requesting additional information, you can send an email to planning@tay.ca. Planning staff did receive written correspondence from a resident in the area, and her comments were that the lot frontages of the severed property should not be smaller than the frontage of other properties on the street. The standard frontage in that area for the lots that are already existing are approximately 19 meters, but zoning bylaw 2000-57 requires 18 meters, so the relief is from 16.4 from 18. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weatherall. Is an applicant or agent here? Would you like to add anything to the? No? Okay. Thank you. Question clarification period. Speakers in support and opposition. Public, we've already heard from one. Correspondence, there is no one else in the audience tonight, so we're going to move on. Question and count clarification period for council. Do any members of council have any questions regarding the information presented? No, seeing none. Well, we're at number 7, closing the public meeting. If there are no more questions on this application for the proposed zoning bylaw amendment, I will now close this public meeting. You are invited to stay and listen to the council meeting. It is in an open meeting, but no further opportunity for public comments will be provided on this application. I have call for the adjournment of the meeting. I have a resolution that reads that this planning meeting adjourn at 6:36 p.m. I have moved by Councillor Larmont and seconded by Deputy Mayor. All those in favor? And that is carried. We're
Good evening, council, staff, and those joining us on YouTube, and those present in the council chambers. Welcome to this regular council meeting. And before I get into the moment of silent reflection, I'd like to note that some members of council and staff are wearing pink in recognition of the anti-bullying campaign and to sprinkle a little kindness. Also this month is the IT Starts campaign promoting inclusivity, kindness, respect, and so on. And if you notice at the front of the council table, the individual council IT comments are posted. With that said, could you please join council and staff in a moment of silent reflection? Thank you, everyone. To our agenda then, we are at item number 3, which is approval of our agenda, and of a motion that reads that council meeting agenda for February 25th, 2026 be approved. Mover and seconder, Councillor Talbot and Councillor Bumstead. All in favor? Thank you. That is carried. Any disclosure of interest at this point? Seeing none, as we move through the agenda, please, if you do notice a conflict or an interest, please state the general nature thereof and fill out the required paperwork with our clerk as soon as you're able to following this evening's meeting. Presentations and delegations, we do not have any tonight, and that brings us to item 6, our consent list. I have a motion that reads that the consent list for February 25th, 2026, and the recommendations contained therein be adopted as resolutions of council. Mover and seconder, Councillor Raymond and Councillor Larmaw. Any items you want pulled? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. We're clipping right along here. Staff reports, item 7, we do not have any. Delegation follow-up, none. Correspondence received, none. Other than that has been circulated to council through the CIP. Notice of motion, none. Council announcements, our favorite part of the meeting. Council, any announcements at this point? Deputy Mayor Norris.
Thank you, Your Worship. Always happy to turn around, start, and delay this a little longer. Just the regular meetings. I did attend the fire protection grant with our CAO out in Tiny Township. Also attended for the county the CAEH bridge housing program that was launched. It's a 40-bed mobile home that's been placed at Tiffin for some of the homeless. Also attended yesterday with the mayor at the county IT Start flag raising. So that brings me on to the next item, and it was a pleasure to join Mayor Walker up in Penetang. We got a slight delay here. So I thought it was appropriate. The mayor decided to take photos. So I just wanted to show Mayor Walker, myself, and Mayor LaChapelle, or not Mayor. I kind of blew that already. So here we're sitting on the sculpture. Basically, it's the throne, and it was just appropriate that Councillor LaChapelle sat on the throne. So, saying that, we were also up for the log sawing contest. Originally, our CIO, Andrea, was going to join me, and somehow or other, Councillor LaChapelle got his fingers in there. So, myself on the left, Gerard on the right. Now, what we have to say here is Tom and Tim and Doug, I won't use their last names, are old hockey rivals. So you can well imagine the commentator that was coming from each of them. Coach Walker, he took the photo, so he wasn't too far apart. So you'll notice the positions of us. As Gerard pointed out, we were the oldest. It was combined 145 years there. And we were up against other individuals who were only half our age. So in Gerard's way of thinking, we won. Now, it's too bad Gerard's not here, so I'm sure he would have had more comments. I think we were down about the 12th one to saw a log, and as everybody knows, the tree grows up. So the first individual, because the challenge came from the Penetang mayor and the deputy, they only had to saw a little log. By the time me and Gerard got to it, it had to be this thick. Now the drawback, once again, we've got three individuals that Gerard used to play hockey against. Doug was you can't really focus in on it, but Doug would always stop the teeth of the blade at a certain point. Now we were going on the fact of, we had a handicap with Gerard. But we did get him on the right side, because that's what, and it was kind of ironic, the coach turned around and said, no, Gerard, you'd be on that side. Well, what ended up happening, the handle, but then with no place to put the thumb, he didn't have his thumb, and of course, it grabbed the handle just perfect. So we were already set. Now, it's too bad we can't focus in here, so Doug had stopped the teeth from actually getting down further, so we're at a disadvantage. Tom mouthing about the fact that we weren't going to turn around and give you any favoritism. So away we start. Ted didn't say much as the coach. However, we had actually done really well, and everybody was starting to get a little excited. Ted started turning around and hollering, "Pull!" Well, Gerard didn't have his hearing aids in. He thought he said push. The poor saw ended up bending in half. And because we had this thing so red hot, it took us a few extra seconds for it to cool off in order to get it back going. We ended up 5th. But we did beat some of the other counselors, but there you go. I'll let the coach jump on there. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Very interesting. Any other council comments? Okay. I'm very quickly going to mention I was at the recent Police Services Board meeting. We're back to meeting again. Several NT Power Board meetings, of course, and some meetings with Newmarket Mayor John Taylor as well. And I did want to mention the Winter Remember Parade and the log sign. Now, Barry mentioned they finished 5th. I don't think so. All I can say is that there were 10 teams, and I'm proud to say that Gerard and Barry finished in the top 10. That's about as much as we could say. Okay, with that said, if there's none other at this time, that brings us to closed session, which we have none. Closed session reporting, which of course we have none. Bylaws, we don't have any. That brings us to our confirming bylaw. And I have a motion that reads that bylaw 2026-07 being a bylaw to adopt the proceedings of the February 25th, 2026 council meeting be enacted as a bylaw of the Township of Tay. All mover and seconder, Councillor Larma, Deputy Mayor Norris, all in favor? That is carried. And already we're at adjournment. So I have a motion that reads that this regular meeting of council adjourn at 7:09 p.m. Mover and seconder, Councillor Talbot and Councillor Bumstead, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you, staff. Thank you, council. Have a good evening, and thank you for your time today with the budget earlier in the day, and now this meeting. So